Hi viewers, for those of you who saw the previous video where these two fake Morgan dollars were sent in to me, I thought I'd do a bit of an update on them and following a request in one of the comments actually do the ice test. Anyway, let's have a quick closer look at them and see why the sender thought they were fake. Well, we'll start off actually with a genuine Morgan dollar and compare the two. Now the details are pretty good, I must say. I've had a look at them and they're pretty good, and unusually the die rotation is also correct, which they frequently get wrong. But there is of course a glaring difference, as you will see. The fakes are much thicker. And obviously I will just quickly do the slide test for you, and it's probably one of the reasons I've never bothered with the ice test when this test is so quick and simple, and you can tell which ones are the fakes straight away. And obviously the ice test is going to get a bit messy as well. But anyway, I was discussing these two Morgan dollars with Igor, and he has a possible theory about them, don't you, Igor?
Yes, I do. Morgan dollars, or any silver dollar, are particularly popular with magicians because they're quite pretty to look at. There's an interesting story to tell behind them, and silver wears down and becomes slick, as I'm sure you're aware, which means that you don't get this horrible grating noise while you're performing with them, which makes them lots of fun to work with. So the problem is actual Morgans tad expensive to be doing magic with. So suppliers make accurate reproductions, which are sold as reproductions and not passed off as real Morgans, and they're made obviously fake enough that they shouldn't pass by any genuine collectors, but they're made to look the part, and usually they're produced with because real Morgans are often worn down on the edges,
Like this is.
So they produce them with better reading, which makes them easier to hold on to when you're doing coin
So
magic
you don't,
with them.
because of the lack of wear on those two, if I can just borrow them and show the wear to the viewers. Well, I'll just have one as an example. So you don't think these were actually produced for use by magicians?
These ones I'm not so sure, because well, they might be, because they have that good reading on them, so they're
so
easier
bright I
to
can't actually see that.
easier to hold on to. But
Unusually.
But typically magic suppliers make theirs out of steel, because when you're practicing there's a good chance that you'll drop them. If you perform enough, there's a good chance you'll drop them. And if you made them out of a softer metal, there's quite a high chance that they'll dent visibly and burrs in the edges, which isn't pleasant on your hands.
No. So the ones that magicians use, do they actually put the word replica on them, or?
I don't know. I don't own any, so I wouldn't know. I should have googled that before we started the video. But
yeah, good point.
I think often they'll omit a date or something like that, so that they don't count as a coin, rather a replica round. Or sometimes I think some I may have seen some that have the word replica hidden.
Yeah, in small letters.
Where it would say "In God We Trust," it says replica, or sometimes replacing the date, maybe. That would be my guess if they did.
So there is a chance that these actually were produced as a magician's prop,
potentially,
rather than actually to fool people. But due to the lack of wear on the edges, they may not have been. They might have been intended to fool people. But anyway, let's get on and do the ice test. So before we do the ice test, we'll try and put similar weight coins on. Now this is the genuine 1921 Morgan, which weighs in at 26.74. So look at the fakes. 26.72 and 26.96. That one's considerably over then. Well, not considerably, but it is over. So we'll go with that Morgan and a genuine Morgan as comparison in the ice test. Right, so there we have the 1921 genuine and the 1883 fake. So let's put a piece of ice on each eagle. They are equal weight ice, I presume.
They should be. They're slightly slidey.
They are slightly slidey, aren't they?
This could take a while.
It's a bit slower than the slide test.
There's a bit.
Well, there we go. After 20 minutes of time,
Rather inconclusive, really.
they're neck and neck, aren't they,
They-
Igor?
they are.
Absolutely neck and neck. I don't know whether I can bring them up closer to the camera.
The ice
to see
cubes
the
there
ice
are pretty
just
much
there.
exactly the same size.
And there,
And so, while this was going on, we did some Googling.
we did.
Supposedly the way this is meant to work is you put an ice cube on silver and it melts immediately. But if anything, the fake started melting quicker.
It
You probably
did.
see that a puddle appears first.
Yeah.
Now I don't know whether that's because there was more surface tension over here and the puddle just stuck to the coin, but they're both... I guess if you were to go by temperature,
Yeah.
this one feels colder.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, but yeah, really cold actually to the touch. So I guess you could test that way, which one gets colder faster, because
Rather than waiting for it to melt.
But
But there was also some interesting information about the thermal conductivity, wasn't there?
yeah, I mean, so all the charts that I could find, supposedly silver is the most thermal conductive metal,
Yeah.
quickly followed by copper.
Copper, yeah.
Very, very closely followed, which to me makes this seem like a rather pointless test for comparing coins, or even genuinely for testing a coin.
Yeah, because
Because-
you've got to waste 20 minutes to start with.
Because copper is, well, even if you just did it quickly to see how quickly the ice starts to melt, rather than waiting for it to melt.
It started to melt on that one
Immediately.
definitely faster.
Definitely.
The fake, yeah.
But, if copper's quite a common metal to use for fake silver, at least,
Yeah, well, brass, which has a
Brass.
percentage of copper, doesn't
which
it?
would probably have a lower thermal conductivity, but it would still melt reasonably quickly, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
And this particular fake obviously isn't copper.
No, because
Because
it's shot down the slide.
Shot down the slide. So if anything, a copper coin would probably be more deceptive for people trying to do this test.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because
Or a
you-
brass fake, which has got copper in it.
Yeah,
Because
you-
this is almost certainly a white metal because of the way it slid down the slide.
yes,
So it'll have possibly zinc or some kind of alloy.
core
Tin.
Yeah, yeah. But rather strange. I suppose the only thing I can think is maybe that the fake was warmer because we handled it more. Maybe, I don't know. But I certainly wouldn't trust this.
No, I wouldn't either. And I wouldn't want to waste 20 minutes of my time.
No,
like
and-
we just have done.
And also, it takes so long. Well, you could just shoot it down a slide, or just throw a magnet on the face of it and
Yeah,
find
exactly.
out.
Yeah.
And also, we do have the other issue of the fact that we currently have a very nice Morgan dollar sitting in a puddle of ice water,
which we've now got to dry.
which isn't ideal. Yeah, all of the forums online raving about how quickly the silver melts ice, and
And it didn't work.
well, frankly, that took bloody ages.
Yeah, exactly.
It just took ages to start.
And also, the other point I don't think we raised was obviously the Morgan dollar is 90% silver, 10% copper, which are the two most
Yeah.
thermally conductive metals.
yeah.
So,
God knows what's going on there.
and this clearly is not silver. But perhaps I should do a specific gravity test on that to see what it actually is.
Just to be certain. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, might do that.
Well, we've got the water ready.
Yeah, true. I'll do the specific gravity test. Well, we just done the specific gravity test, and it came out at 8.48.
Yes.
Which marries up with what metal?
Brass, perfectly. But there's a bit of a strange one, honestly. It didn't act like brass.
It didn't act like brass on the slide. It went a bit too quick, because obviously brass does contain copper, so it would...
slightly diamagnetic.
One thing's for sure, it's not genuine with a specific gravity of 8.48, because silver is 10.49.
Yes.
And coin silver was 10 point something or other,
3.1
whatever it was.
Like yeah. So definitely not a genuine coin.
But one thing we did spot, which we hadn't spotted earlier, or I spotted,
yes,
there were both Carson City dollars, which of course indicates that they were intended to be counterfeits, because as you all know, the Carson City dollars are more sought after. Yeah, just down a bit, Igor, down a bit, there you go, back a bit. There we go, there's the CC. So anyway.
Definitely intended to be fakes.
And for those that were hoping for me to destroy it, I may not. I may actually give them to Igor as a magician's prop. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Bye. Interesting thing about the fakes is that sometimes you can see that they're actually magnetic. Trying to dent the table. So they jump across, and sometimes they're strong enough that they'll even go through the hand. Although, of course, these ones they aren't magnetic at all.
Very good, Eagle.